Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we have the Light Phone 2 after 5 years. This is going to be half a technical review and half a lifestyle review. So I'm going to give some themes and I'm going to cover a lot of the features that this device has and how it has improved my life over the past 5 years. The first thing is that my life has slowed down. The Light Phone 2 has improved a lot since I actually first got it. When I first got it, it only had phone, alarm, and settings. That's it. Now it does have notes, it has directions, it has a directory where you can find businesses, it has the ability to play music and play podcasts, and it does also sync with your Google Calendar. So a lot of advancements the team has done in the past 5 years, and they have still supported it, something that a lot of smartphones don't get. They don't get a lot of support. Yes, the price, it is a little bit more than a regular flip phone, but it does have some features that are quite essential to some people, and it does it in a pretty good way. It does still have some bugs, especially in the directions tool, but for the most part, the device will be slowing you down and actually offering you a lot of value. So when it comes to slowing down in my life, I have been able to see that the e-ink is a little bit slower technology, so it allows you to be more patient. I don't compose as many text messages as I used to. I don't participate in group text message conversations as I used to. Instead, I call people more, which the call quality on the Light Phone 2 is about a 6.5, 7 out of 10 at the most, but it is compatible with Bluetooth, which makes the phone calls go to the 8 and 9 range, depending on your Bluetooth headset. It did fix that compatibility with the Bluetooth headphones, so most Bluetooth headphones now are compatible and also a lot of cars. I've been able to use it with different cars and actually smarter cars nowadays. I've rented one the other day and I had the ability to connect the Light Phone 2 to that car and I had no issues. So when it comes to the compatibility, when it comes to the robustness of the device, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. It does have most of the features that you need and it does so in a pretty relatively easy way. It does still have some problems which are being addressed with the new generation, the Light Phone 3, but this phone has slowed me down. I don't consume as much. I don't go on the browser as much because it doesn't have one. I don't actually just scroll on social media because it doesn't have access to that. And instead, I'm doing more activities that are actually better for me. But more on that in just a second point. The second thing with the Light Phone 2 is that you're going to consume less. Not only because the phone doesn't need as much data, so you may be able to lower your data consumption and therefore the price of your plan. I have a plan with US Mobile that is $6 per month. This plan has been discontinued, but now there is a plan that costs $8 per month. And for smartphones, smartphone plans are usually in the 15 plus range. Some people pay $50, $45, even some people I've heard they pay $70 for their smartphone plan with the unlimited data that most smartphones need because they're consuming data and sending your data and using all things data. But the Light Phone 2 is just more simple. And because it is more simple and it doesn't need as many things, you can still connect it to Wi-Fi and download the podcast or the music that you need to download. But that's about it. And because it doesn't use a lot of these technologies, you can just lower the cost. But not only that, I am also not consuming content that is leading me to other purchases or impulse purchases. So in the past, I used to have a smartphone and I used to go on a browser and that gives you ads. And because you have a lot of advertisements, that may lead you to make an impulse purchase. Or if you have the Amazon app on your phone, then you're going to be purchasing something just because you heard about it or because you have the access to do it. The Light Phone 2 is a general barrier for that because it doesn't allow you to just pull out the phone and go into it and then purchase whatever you want. Instead, you have to be mindful, you have to jot it down, and you have to have a better system in order to do that. The third category that I want to talk about is essentially the planning. So now I plan better than when I had my smartphone. Yes, smartphones have a lot of planner apps, but they also have a lot of distractions. Because this device only has the notes tool, which is very simple, very nice, and very useful. You can also record audio notes on this specific tool. And it also has the ability to do your calendar. Then you're able to input the calendar notes and you're not distracted. If somebody says, hey, can you put it on your calendar? You're not going to be distracted by notifications, so you're going to be planning ahead of time. Also, for other things, there is a lot of friction. For example, when you go on a flight, you may have to print your paper ticket before, or you may have to go to the counter, or you may have to ask for assistance. And that may be a little bit uncomfortable for some people, but I have been able to enjoy that, enjoy the human interaction instead of just having my phone for everything and not talking to anybody. That is just a personal preference, but it has allowed me to plan better. It has allowed me to become more mindful about my schedule and the things that I want to introduce into my life instead of just being mindless about my schedule. Also, another thing is the entertainment portion. because I am planning my entertainment, I make sure to put the music and podcast that I actually want on the phone. I cannot just download something real quick or stream something real quick. I actually had to plan to listen to it, load it onto the computer, which sends it to my phone through the dashboard, which is, I think, a very good option. Personally, I would like to see an offline option at some point in time, but for now, I'm not going to complain. The phone has kept up and it has done its job with this library of music and also the podcast that I listen to. The fourth thing is that you notice things a little bit more because you have time to actually do it. Instead of being distracted by your smartphone, the Light Phone 2 offers a distraction-free zone. Phone calls, text messages, maybe a podcast. You could be distracted with that. But whenever you go out with friends, you're not going to be pinged a lot. And if you are, it's just a text message. It's not a notification from a service. It's not a tracking of a package. It's not something that it's in the back of your mind because you don't have access to it. All you have access to is just the basic communication tools that everybody used to have access to. Instead of being distracted by the World Wide Web, now you're encountering more with nature and you have the ability to see your friends and you have the ability to actually talk to them. So it has made my relationships a lot richer and it has allowed me to focus more on those things. Now, there is a point to say that you could do this with a smartphone too. You don't have to actually get a light phone or a dumb phone in order to experience more of life and to actually pay attention to the people in your life. You can just be respectful. But smartphones have a mind of their own and they're sometimes more distracting than we like to admit. The last point is that my privacy has improved. Because I don't have apps mining my data or sending it to a server, I don't have a lot of spam advertisements. I don't have a lot of spam on my email. Because, again, there is nothing that I'm signing up for on this little device. I'm just calling and texting the people that I already know. Yes, there is a frustration with a little bit of spam calls, but you just register at donotcall.gov or gov, the government website, where you are going to be removing your number from telemarketing services. It does take a little while. I've had to re-register twice in the 5 years, but after a while, I just stopped getting spam phone calls for a long time. And whether you have a smartphone or a dumb phone, I actually say go to the donotcall.gov and register your device so that you don't get telemarketing. Yes, there have been some times where I've had a couple of text messages on spam. I just block the number and continue moving on with my life. Over the past 5 years, I've enjoyed using this device. I've also used other devices, but I keep coming back to this one, and this has been my personal device for all of that time. And the reason why is because I believe in the company, I like what they're doing, and they are prompt to provide good customer service and upgrades to the phone. A 5-year phone for $300 has been the best investment that I have ever made for my digital wellness and also in my life. It has taught me a lot of lessons of patience and being just a better person, but of course, you can also learn them on a smartphone. And I hope that this video just encourages you to pick up maybe one of these or the Light Phone 3, whichever one you think is best for you, but also to just be more mindful about your usage and create a little bit of a better life for you and your loved ones. I hope this video was helpful and that I showcased enough features during my review that you were able to check out and actually see the phone and get a little bit of a gist of how it works. Until next time, this has been my review of the Light Phone 2 over 5 years. And I think it's going to make it way longer. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.